All right, let's talk about Batman Cape Crusader. This is executive produced by Bruce Timm, the OG from the guy who did the 90s version. And then there's also Matt Reeves and J.J. Abrams. This is described as a sort of, not a continuation, obviously. This is a redoing, a retelling of Batman early days, a sort of pared down version of the Dark Knight detective. He doesn't have a lot of technology. It's taking place in a 30s, 40s kind of Art Deco world, but they're going for more of a darker sort of storyline. I liked how the series had a sort of 30s Hammer horror movie monster aesthetic for a lot of the different villains, new ones and old ones. Let's get into the basics. First off, the pilot episode has obviously the controversial gender bend of Oswalda Cobblepot. The Penguin is now a larger woman cabaret singer who has two sons, maybe adopted. They don't show the father. She's basically behind the new criminal thing, and Batman has to stop her. I think the creators were a bit worried with this drastic change because they released a photo before the series dropped. I felt that the change was really like pat on the back, sort of like, ooh, we're doing something amazing. But it's a little bit cowardly because that character is defeated and goes to prison, obviously. And if they don't want to bring back that character, they don't have to. So why even do that? If they really wanted to do something extreme, they would, gender bend or race bend Joker. Imagine a Joker as a female failed comedian. Maybe her partner gets involved in the mafia. She ends up having to do a job with him or her, and then she falls into the chemicals and becomes like a twisted female Joker who wants people to laugh at her jokes, but they don't, so she forces them to with gas. Now that would be a pretty interesting thing. We've seen Martha Wayne Joker from Flashpoint, but we've never seen that sort of be like the main thing. There'd probably be riots in the streets, though, if you tried to have a female Joker. But they also do the same thing with Harley Quinn. She's Asian in this one. Still maybe gay or bisexual. We're not really sure if she's going to end up meeting Joker in this series. But I didn't like the episode that introduces basically Harley Quinn as a villain. It's a very poorly written episode, to be honest. A really contrived ending, very rushed. It didn't feel like a good episode. It was just really bad. I didn't like that episode. So those are my two biggest gripes. But the other gripes I have, that there are other aspects of the series that I liked and disliked. So we'll go over the likes. The series had my heart with episode 2. It's a Clayface episode, but we're going with the traditional putty face Clayface instead of the big blob of clay. We've seen the big blob of clay like 4 or 5 times. We're going with the new version with Basil Karlo. And when Batman's chasing the killer, they're basically fighting with swords. I'm like, this is awesome. I love this. This is very, old school sort of adventure serial sort of style, something from the comics. I really like that. There's also a scene where Batman is trying to save characters from gangsters, and he just hits them with the car. Like, he just hits the gangsters with the car. He just sideswipes them down, and it's so inelegant. But it's like, this is like, the Dark Knight detective without all of his super. He's not gonna pull out a giant robot suit in this series. This is more of a gothic sort of noir story. So the most gadgets he has are a flare gun, grappling hook, gas bomb smoke screen, and gas bomb knockout gas. They could add more stuff, maybe a taser weapon or a taser glove. Maybe they'll add like longer gloves with the sharp things on his arm, and bulletproof cape and stuff like that. They'll probably add small things here or there in the seasons to come, maybe not. It's pretty interesting. One thing I didn't like is sometimes they'll just name drop a large part of DC lore and be like, that character that just got shot in the face or whatever, that was like, Green Lantern or something. It kind of feels like that. They're like, why even do that? Zack Snyder did the same thing with Jimmy Olsen in Batman v Superman, where the CIA agent with Lois Lane is killed, and you're told later, like not even in the movie, you're told just by the director that's Jimmy Olsen. It doesn't mean anything. So they do that with a character later, and it's really bad form. It kind of just wants to throw in Easter eggs whenever you want. You don't have to do that. And sometimes cameos can be kind of annoying too. They have like a whole episode with a bunch of kids, and they're all like, homages to Batman's previous Robins. And another thing is something kind of annoying. It's called, I call it replacement syndrome. Something I just made up right now. But basically, sometimes the plot of an episode or the usage of a character is so generic that you could easily just swap it out for any other villain. So for example, Harley Quinn's episode is episode 5, I believe. And we find out she basically is kidnapping rich billionaires and brainwashing them into giving her complete control of them, you know, through psych, whatever. And that could easily be a Mad Hatter episode, or a Scarecrow episode, or it could be a Hugo Strange episode. So it just kind of feels a little bit generic in that sense. Same for the usage of onomatopoeia. He is a Green Arrow villain created by Kevin Smith. He shows up as a hitman leading a squad of hitmen to take out Commissioner James Gordon in an episode. However, he's not as cool as his comic counterpart. He basically is just a goon with a mask, so that could easily just be like Johnny Scarface, the hitman, or whatever. So it just kind of feels like, what, you know, I like seeing onomatopoeia, you know, in this form. That's all you're gonna get, probably won't come back. But you know, sometimes they do a kind of a half-assed version of a character you like, and it can irk people. Like, you know, I guess there's huge fans of Penguin, but yeah, that just kind of irked me a little bit. But I really like the art style. It's kind of like a Darwin Cook, Batman the Brave and the Bold kind of amalgam. The animation's fine. I really like the character development. There's a lot of character development for Bruce Wayne. There's several characters who are smarter than average, who kind of get that there's something off about Bruce Wayne, you know. And, you know, most people would be like, oh, Bruce Wayne's Batman. But no, like, a lot of rich billionaires are probably weirdos that have other weird, you know, secrets or kinks or quirks. You know, some of them could be hiding pedophilia or homosexuality or, like, weird kinks. So it's not always just, oh, you know, everyone's Batman. No. So I like that, how, like, Batman has a mask. He has his guard up. People were complaining about Alfred being chubby. Don't really care. I mean, he barely does anything in the series. He's just like emotional support for Bruce. So I don't really care if he's ripped or not. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that he's there. Who else? Yeah, I mean, every episode they introduce some new characters and some weird ones, and then they redo some old ones. I like the Gentleman Ghost episode. That one introduces the occult for some good world building. So for season 2, if they want to like introduce Solomon Grundy or Zatanna or, you know, some demons or something, then at least you can, you know, you've opened the door a little bit for certain paths of different storytelling. But we're not going to get futuristic stuff. So I don't want to see, you know, aliens. I don't want to see Superman showing up, or Martian Manhunter, or Toyman, or all these like fantastical things. This is going for a more realistic sort of thing. And I noticed that too with the action choreography. Batman, it's a little bit repetitive. It's basically, you know, a bunch of goons. They have guns. Batman throws a smoke grenade. They can't see anything. He takes them out one at a time because you know, that's all he's got. He's just a guy in a suit, so he really can't do much more than that. He doesn't have like fancy magnet tricks or you know, ball bearings or like cool, you know, blinding weapons yet or anything like that. This is very bare bones. So he's got one simple tactic: blind them, take them out one at a time, make your escape. That's all you got to do. So other than that, there aren't a lot of gripes. I actually really enjoyed the series. I had the flu, and I just marathoned the whole thing when it dropped, to be honest. I think one weakness of the series is that you only get 10 episodes, right? I mean, the original Batman the Animated Series is considered a classic because they have like over 70 episodes to explore all these cool stories. So Bruce Timm was able to, you know, visit the Rogues Gallery multiple times. I mean, there's like 5 Joker episodes at least. There's a bunch of cool Poison Ivy ones. And they introduced some weird one-off new characters, you know, like Charlie and Harley Quinn and Joker's Favor. You've got Captain Clown and the Terrible Trio and all sorts. Was it Nostradamus was one too? He was like a guy trying to scam people. Yeah, so like you only get 10 episodes per season, so you have to be really choosy with who you introduce, because a lot of these characters kind of seem like it's cool to see them in a new capacity, but they might not have any crossover potential with future episodes. Like, I don't see us exploring Oswalda Cobblepot again or Basil Carlo unless you can come up with a good storyline for them. I think, you know, we're gonna get like more one-off episodic adventures, and you know, maybe we'll get Harley Quinn return with Joker. Maybe we'll see Two-Face again. Maybe, you know, maybe we'll see. I'll probably not see the Gentleman Ghost again, but we probably get more occult stuff, more stuff that's tangentially sort of related, but probably not. So overall, I really enjoyed Batman Caped Crusader. I'll definitely check it out. You have to give it some patience, though. I usually give a show 3 episodes to intrigue me, and I liked episode 2, so definitely recommended for sure.